Welcome to another episode of the Concussion Nerds podcast. And today, my friends, I am fired up. But I'm not fired up for the reason like I was on last week's podcast. Today, I'm fired up for a different reason. We're going to celebrate someone on today's podcast. I'm going to ask for your support on something on today's podcast. And we are going to talk about that feeling, that fire inside of you that amplifies the extra dose of gasoline on the rocket ship when you see your mission coming to life in the world. When you pour your heart and soul into something, and when you have such passion behind what you do, there is this beautiful moment when you start to see the ripple effects of that work in the world, right? And I see that in different ways in my own world, whether it be the support with the Making the Invisible Visible movement we have, whether it be that piece. But you all know that the big mission if you're here, is to set the standard for elevated concussion care around the world. And I believe that if you are in this space, if you are a physical therapist, if you're a chiropractor, if you're an athletic therapist, if you're an acupuncturist, an OT, if you are an individual that wants to work with individuals with concussion, I believe you have the right to confidently treat and attract concussion clients in your space. The challenge I find for those individuals who have that heart, who want to pour into those of you on a healing journey, who want to help inspire hope and be that change. The challenge I find is that there's a lack of confidence in knowing that you can truly help that client achieve change, especially those clients on a persistent journey, right? And the issue or the challenge is that you don't have the framework to be able to confidently understand what all those pieces mean when they're doing your assessment and how to apply them to generate change. Typically, confidence comes when we understand what we're doing, and confidence comes into place when we have that depth of the integrated science to know how to apply the information through the framework to have amazing outcomes for our clients. And those amazing outcomes, that different approach, but that process to be able to go through, those outcomes are what drive change, and your clients are what drive increasing traffic to your clinic, because word of mouth happens. When you're doing amazing work, your clients share it. Your colleagues share it. Physicians hear it. And you start to become the go-to person in your community. That, in the grand mission of what I do, my big mission of wanting to set this new standard of concussion care, this is why I work with clinicians, because I want to help you be able to do this process and have this process. So together, as a collective community, we get to change and support so many individuals on a healing journey to have amazing life moments and get back to life. And we're going to celebrate somebody today because she did exactly this. She opened a clinic 2 years ago in Fernie, British Columbia. Now, if you're not from BC, Fernie is a small town in the East Kootenays, right? It's not a huge town. It's surrounded by other small towns. The closest city is several hours away. But Fernie is a hub for recreational activity. There's a ski hill there. There's tons of mountain biking there. There's snowmobiling there. There's quadding there. There's mountain climbing there. It is a hub of a huge recreational output. And when Emily started her clinic, very shortly after, she joined Concussion Nerds. And in a conversation, we said, there is nobody that's serving the concussion population well. And I looked at her at the very beginning of when she came to work, and I said, if you do this, and if you adopt this framework and this model, she has the heart. Oh my gosh, she has the heart. I said, I have zero doubt zero doubt that you are going to become the go-to clinic in the East Coonies. And we're celebrating the bejesus out of Emily today because it's been 2 years since she opened. Since then, she has had to expand to a bigger space. She has had to bring team in. She is 100% the go-to concussion clinic in her town and the surrounding towns. And she just won Best New Business in Fernie. Congratulations, Em. Like, huge, huge congratulations. Ridgeline Physiotherapy in Fernie, British Columbia, huge congratulations. She posted this win in our Concussion Nerds community. Oh, I felt like a proud mama. We know I'm emotional. And so tears came to my eyes instantly. Like, Emily, I am so dang proud of you. She is changing lives. There is something to be said about when we have passion. When you have passion, it's that piece that you would do this for free if you could. And I mean, I think you hear it in my voice every week. This is an area, whether it's in my satire skits on Instagram, whether it's in the more educational sessions we do, whether it's celebrating our community, when you see the work you're pouring into the world ripple into other people and you get to see them win and them succeed, that is so powerful, right? I'm going to ask for your support in a little second here. I have so many things that I want to do in this space to continue to see the concussion nerds like Emily crush it in their world, to continue to help those of you on a healing journey connect to amazing providers who are using this holistic, full picture, multi-systems approach to care because we know it works. And I want to be able to connect you to those people. There's so many things I want to do in my own clinic to build out our own programs that then I can teach the clinicians who I get to mentor. And we have this continuous, collaborative, evolving community setting the standard higher than it is today, because today's standard is straight up not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I am part of a competition. It's called the Fab 40 Over 40 competition. So if you didn't know I was over 40 years old, you now know I am over 40 years old. 40s have been an amazing decade so far in my life. This competition serves two purposes. It serves obviously for recognition of the women who are part of it, but bigger, it is actually a fundraiser for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. So it's a Canadian and a US competition, and it serves as a fundraiser for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And when I was listening to this story of the founder of this association, or this charity, I should say, it struck a chord in me. This foundation was started in the 90s. And it was started because earlier, this woman had experienced and got diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, for those of the younger generation out there, in the late 80s, the internet did not exist. I always find it silly. I said to my kiddo one day, I said, dude, I'm older than the internet. And he like, ha ha ha, that's funny, mom. And I'm like, no, seriously. I'm older than Google. I'm older than the internet. I grew up at a time where we had to go to a library and pull out a thing and look through Cardex and use the Dewey Decimal System to go find books in stacks to do my research. And he's like, he doesn't even know what those things are. He knows what books are, obviously. Dewey Decimal System, like he doesn't know what those things are. So I giggle when I'm like, I'm older than the internet. But the founder of this charity obviously got breast cancer at a time when there was no internet. So finding information for her was extremely challenging. She shares in this video that we got to watch as part of the competition that at that time, what your doctor said is what you had to take as truth. Now let's pause for a second here. Again, nothing against the specialists and the physicians out there, but I have an entire sequence of reels on Instagram that are satire reels of the horrible advice that specialists and general physicians who have chosen not to focus in concussion because that is their choice, but the horrible advice that gets given out. And could you imagine today if you just had to accept that as truth, right? Like that hit for me. And so what this woman did is when she recovered from breast cancer, and at the end of that, she was fueled by a mission. She didn't want other women who received this diagnosis to experience the fear and the isolation and the lack of information that she experienced. And so she started this charity. She started this foundation, the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And initially it started with making sure women could have free mammograms in the United States. Now it expanded. They have navigator programs, they have their mammogram program, and they have other programs. But her mission started because of an experience that she had that she decided wasn't okay, that she didn't want other women to experience. And she took that passion and created this foundation to create change in lives around the United States and Canada. I'm going to share how I'm asking for your help and how this is relevant. I am in this competition. This competition is based on votes. Okay? So I move forward in the rounds by the number of votes I have. There is a prize to this competition. Part of that prize is a pocket of money. And isn't it funny that when I saw that the prize was money, part of it, I instinctively went to how can I pour this back into my community and my business. My hair, if you see this on this video, I have my lion's mane today and it's driving me a bit bonkers. So we'll just, okay. I call it my lion's mane. You can understand if you are seeing the video of this or the real segment. Anyways, there's a pocket of money. And instinctively, I was like, how am I going to pour this back into my business? Some people might be like, how am I going to spend this for myself? Mine was, how am I going to pour this back into my business? Now, yes, I'm going to use a small portion of it for myself. However, I have dreamed for years of starting a charity in concussion. And the purpose of that charity would be twofold. It would be, first and foremost, the primary mission would be to be able to support scholarships to individuals on a healing journey who can't afford to receive care. And we could provide scholarships for funding for them to receive treatment. And so I know, whether you're on a healing journey or clinician, when someone is on a persistent healing journey, it gets expensive and benefits run out and funding runs out and finances can truly be the limiting barrier for someone to receive the care they need. I feel like that's unfortunate that that's the case for somebody. And so of this charity, one arm of this charity that I dream of is to be able to provide these scholarships for individuals to receive treatment all through Canada and the United States. Eventually, obviously, the goal would be globally, but to receive treatment around the world. The second arm that I would love to have this charity do is to support clinics in funding for purchasing of equipment that can help them see deeper and provide a higher level of assessment or treatment or that piece of things as well. So if you're here long enough, you know that my mission is truly to support both clinicians and individuals on a healing journey. And so I want my charity, I dream of my charity to be able to do both as well. When we, and I say we, win this competition because it's not me, it's we win this competition, a portion of whatever it's going to take me to start this charity is going to come from that. That is project number 1. Project number 2 would be, we have some new technology we want to bring into the clinic to help up-level our acute and persistent programming again. but I need your help. And we will next week. I needed to A, come celebrate M. And I wanted to ask for your support because sometimes I'm really great at sharing with my team and people close to me what my big dreams are. And I'm not always really good at putting it out there into the world and the universe. And so this is officially me putting it into the universe. This dream I have had for years of being able to start this charity to support individuals on a healing journey, because you all have the right to heal. You all have the right to amazing healthcare. If I can help play a role in that, or this charity that we want to create can play the smallest role in helping you achieve that and receive that, we want to do that. And because the other half of my mission is absolutely to support clinicians so that they can support you and they can have joy. And as a clinician, you can have joy in your life and how you show up, and you can be confident because you have the knowledge and the depth of the integrated science and the framework to implement it so you can have change, so you can see your concussion caseload build and you can make these epic changes in your clients' lives. I want to be able to support you in being able to bring tools and resources into your clinic as well. I'm going to keep this episode short and sweet. This one was all about the passion, all about the fire, and truly all about community. We cannot do things and show up and have impact if we try to do everything alone. It's the collaborative effort of all of us together that are going to help bring my mission. I say my mission to life, but really it's our mission, because if you're here and you follow me and we chat in the DMs and you listen to this podcast and you share the podcast, then we're sharing the same mission and it becomes our mission. And so I ask you and your support to continue to help bring this next level of our mission to life. Wishing you an amazing day, my friends. Next week, we'll be back. We're going to talk something a little bit more clinical and educative next week. But until then, have an amazing day. That's today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked what you heard, give us a like, give us a share, give us a tag on Instagram, and please never hesitate to reach out. We love communicating and connecting with you. Until next week, my friends, have a marvelous day.